Hello, I'm Dynast Amir.
Okay, first of all, you're Dynast Amir.
Yes.
I want to welcome you to
Thank
the
you.
motherland. And
You're getting this right. You're getting recording right.
I want to welcome
Good.
you to the motherland.
Thank you.
And out of Bunce Island
Thank you.
specifically.
Bunce Island, Sierra Leone.
Yes, because Bunce Island, Sierra Leone, West Africa. Because you came with all the hustles, and then you braved the storm, and then you are here to see that you open the eyes of other Africans, especially our kinfolks and our family that we call the African diaspora.
Where's our yacht at? Where's the yacht?
The tide is low, so you have to go on the other side.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. So our yacht is over here. There we go. Yeah. Oh, here comes our yacht. We got the green one.
Yeah, the one with the flag. That's the Monuments and Relics Commission.
Okay.
Yacht! They're asking you to turn the camera on the side.
Huh? Oh, they gonna be on camera? You wanna be on camera?
Yes, they want
Okay.
the camera.
Say hello. Oh, they said turn it down. Turn it down.
Turn and I mean like turn it to answer them properly.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Okay.
Pigeon.
Pigeon. Yeah, that's I'm learning. I'm learning.
Turn it to us now.
Uh-huh.
Boots.
Oh, okay. So I gotta get on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. I did this in Gambia.
Now get forward to there. Oh, that's okay.
Oh, got it. Okay, there you go.
Okay, first of all, you're Dynast Amir.
Yes.
I want to welcome you to
Thank
the
you.
motherland. And
You're getting this right. You're getting recording
I
right.
want to welcome
Good.
you to the motherland.
Thank you.
And out of Bunce Island
Thank you.
specifically.
Bunce Island, Sierra Leone.
Yes, because Bunce Island, Sierra Leone, West Africa. Because you came with all the hustles, and then you braved the storm, and then you are here to see that you open the eyes of other Africans, especially our kinfolks and our family that we call the African diaspora.
Yes.
And this is also part of the African rising that a lot of people can connect, a lot of people will see, because you have also a large following, and you're an influencer on a positive level.
Thank you.
So we want to welcome you to Bunce Island. Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs.
Okay.
You're good, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Do you have anything to say?
I'm happy to be here. Sierra Leone, Bunce Island. First time to Sierra Leone. As you guys know, I have Mende roots as well. Along with my Yoruba, I have Mende roots. So I'm happy to be home. I know the ancestors inside me are happy to have returned home to Sierra Leone. And tomorrow we're actually going to Mende land. I don't know if that's the correct term.
Yeah, Mende.
We're gonna go see my Mende peoples tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy to be in Sierra Leone. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to Island. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. We are Bunce Island. The island itself is a tiny island.
Okay.
Okay. It's 1,600 feet long and 350 feet wide. So you beg the question: why did these guys come to Bunce Island to operate? You understand? You want to ask, because at a tiny place like this. So it's important that you note that this was not the first initial project in terms of merchandising humans and out of other goods. Okay, so they have a bigger island on the other side. If you look outside there, there's a bigger island known as Tasso. That was where the first project started. Okay, the British started that project at Tasso. as a slave force, and where they did other deals around. Okay, so in 1664, there was during the Anglo-Dutch War, and a Dutch admiral known as the writer. The writer came down and then burnt that place. Yes, he burnt the place, and then so they had to abandon the project because the place is bigger, but there is no strategic defense, and it's a wide space, so people can come in at any time and then attack. So that is why when the guy burnt that garrison there, they had to leave the place, and then they had to seek for a land, a place that they could start another project. So that is when they had to get a lease from the landlord there at Pepel, where we came from, and then they gave them this particular spot. One, because this place is defensive strategically. It's so if one will be entering into the fort, you will notice that most of the activities, especially with structural activities, are on the north hill. Okay, and that is 35 feet above sea level. Okay, and at that particular point, any boats that come in that place will come aground. You understand? So so it's at the limit of navigation. So if you, a slave merchant, want to come with your ship, you will not enter there. You understand? Or when they had wars that they want to come and attack Bunce Island, you will not get access to that place. Then if it's small sort of battle, you just get some few shot of cannons, and then they'll escape with some slaves backdoor to another African village. So that is something to note about. So you see an old structure there. That is the original jetty.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we are coming from the fort, or if slaves are coming from the fort at the time, you move westward, you are not going inside the fort again. That is, you are going to a place that you don't know across the land. So that was the last place that our forefathers stepped before they were shipped out.
Okay, right here.
Yes. So that is that's
So that's the point of no return.
Yes, that is
the point of no return.
Yeah, that is a memorial. So most times when even when they had the first Gola homecoming in 1989, this was the place they had to pour libation. And whenever we have African Americans coming to the motherland, they come praise the ancestors on that side, because that's the side they will give cola, you understand, and then pour libation, just to thank the ancestors for bringing them home. So whenever most of our African Americans are coming, they wept in that place.
Okay.
Yeah. So you need to understand all of this. The enemy will come and burn the island.
Right. Island.
Yes. So when they had the French Revolution, the guys came down here and burned the place. And in 1695, when you're talking about the Spanish success, the war of the League of Augsburg, they came down and burned the island. In 1704, when they are talking about Spanish succession, they came and burned the island. So the French alone had to burn this place like 4 times.
Wow.
During the American Revolutionary War in 1779 also, they came down and burned the island. So 4 times just the French. And then other Afro-Portuguese competitors in the slave trade came down and burned the island. And then you had pirates also, because when these deals were doing in the 1719 and 20s, you had the golden age of piracy. So when most of the time that slaves were going and they knew these were goods, pirates would attack to get their own commission out of what is going. So pirates also burned this place like 2 times. And Black Bat did the 1720 burning of the island. So you see, whenever they burn the island, they will escape, and then later, once the enemy is off the island, they will come and rebuild. So that's why you see some architectural different models. You understand?
Right.
Rock in terms of ballast, just that you know. So. Okay. The early period you had started in 1670s. Okay, the 1670 to 1678 you had the Gambia adventurers. And so if you go to Punta Kinte, these were the same people.
Oh wow.
Yeah, these were the same crown merchants. Okay, because these guys, the crown gave them the right to come into any place in Africa and then just take land and do what you want to do. So they were supported by the crown. So that's why they call them crown chartered companies. So the Royal African Company of England and that of Gambia Adventurers, they were most of the same, like in Gambia and other places. So these were the first people that started operation here. So in that early period, you had this race and that of the Gambia Adventurers. So which was one of most of the turbulent time within the history of this place, because in terms of imprisoning, punishing, they were doing branding. Okay, branding was you get hot iron, okay,
right.
The hot iron in the fire, and then you mark the slave. Okay, so
I have a brand of my fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi, on my chest.
Yeah.
And my best friend, his mom used to tell me that's what they did to the slaves. So why'd you get that brand?
Fine. So that's just to tell you. So race, they'll give you the brand to let you know that this is a property for race,
right.
RAC, or this is a race company property, because they were not classified as humans. They were classified as goods.
Right.
Yeah. So once they can do anything with you because you have no feeling as a human, so they just took you as goods. So they had to brand you like you have trademarks now.
Right.
Yes, like you have trademarks now, and they will brand you that this is race on your right chest or your left chest, and then they'll brand you also as SL. That's to tell you that you're coming from Sierra Leone, because at the time they did not even know how to spell it, or SERALYON. Sierra Leone. So once you go into the auction block, whether in South Carolina or Charleston, Gadsden, Wharf, they will already know that you are coming from Sierra Leone, because Sierra Leone was one of the slave force that produced professional slaves.
Right.
That is, they had expertise in rice growing. And when the British North American colonies were starting rice experiments, they brought most of these guys from Bunce Island and then took them out there to give them the expertise of rice growing. The goal, this was the trading area.
This right here is the trading.
Yes, this was the trading area for humans.
So this is the auction.
Yes,
block right
yes,
here.
they'll come, so they'll get goods from there, come and then they'll buy, you understand, exchange from here, process from here, okay. So if they want to know that you are a strong man, they'll just take like a stick, like this, iron, and then knock you on the side, so that, so that they know if you can respond or you are physically fit to be taken along the journey.
Okay.
So these are all just bad way.
So they didn't respond, that means they were weak.
Yeah.
So you hear me, I'm strong.
Yes,
I'm strong.
Yeah,
okay, so I'm good, I'm strong. Okay.
So that you can respond to stimuli.
I'm strong.
Yes.
Right.
So they will process you here. They say you physically fit, okay, then give us like 200 press-ups. Or give us like 250 jump to know that if you are strong, and then you sort like you just sort your goods that you want to go buy in the market, and then they'll take you inside the main gate into the fort itself. This one here was the BBC project we had with Monument Service Commission and the BBC project. So a Bunce Island Straight Fortress. Thousands of Africans were transported into slavery from this site, 1670 to 1807. So just
take a picture.
Yeah. Different kind of trade process. Okay. Yeah, you have what we are doing here was referred to as the castle trade.
Okay.
That is, you come with the trade here. We come with the goods here, then we negotiate. Okay, and then we get it done, and then I go with my goods. And then you had sloop trade, that you have small masted boats that will go into different villages to go grab, whether in slave raids, you understand, by 5 o'clock in the morning, the African man is sleeping on the bed with no cloth, because most of our forefathers, when they were sleeping, they did not have clothes, you understand, because they were not even thinking about somebody to just come grab them.
Right.
So you had Europeans doing slave raids, okay, go at night and then just grab the strong guys who are now youths. So that is also slave trade, being responsible for a lot of brain drain,
right.
especially when most of the strong youths were taken out of the continent, and those that were left were not that much strong. So they had to, most of these were the techniques they used, and they had out factory. Out factories that they had agents. Okay, white man will come, gets a small barracoon around an area, and then he becomes an agent. And then when he get goods, he will just facilitate it into this major forts, because this was like the major exportation point. So if you have a few areas, you have goods, they will send these boats to go into the out factor. They'll go and then collect the goods, and then these humans, and then bring them into the fort here. They are imprisoned, dealt with in human condition, before processed, branded, before they are taken across the infamous Middle Passage. Out of the ruins on Bunce Island. So this is like the main entrance into the slave fort. You pass through this gate. It was, in that time, it was 24/7 secured. Right. You see like you have a walkway on top where you have security moving to see any enemy coming in or an escape and stuff. So this was a project we had, a grant from Monuments Service Commission, the government of Sierra Leone, with through the Ambassadors Fund for Cultural Preservation, especially the United States Ambassadors Fund. The Ambassadors Fund is a fund that supports up to 100 developing countries geared towards heritage conservation, because you know the developments get some history, especially with cultural heritage. So if we're talking about history, it's important that we conserve that part of our heritage so for posterity, that people will see. So that's the kind of work that is going on, and we are partnering with World Monuments Fund to see this being turned into a comprehensive heritage park that people will come and see the intersection or the memorial. For me, I see this site as an international site of conscience.
Right.
Understand? Because they think that this, especially when we talk about Atlantic slave trade, is one of the gravest of things that ever happened to our kinfolk. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. Especially, you can talk about other issues like massacre and stuff, but up to date, because why it's important, especially for us Africans, is up to date. It's modeling some relationship, even in global context. Okay, in terms of race relations and stuff, these are just historic things that are coming haunting us again. You understand? Whether because you're black, somebody sees you that you are not productive, all of these dynamic race relations that are happening even in our present day because of this historical happening. So you see it as a grave thing that ever happened to humanity, because you never want to see that happen again to humans. So you use this as an international side of conscience to inform people, use it as a memorial to people to understand that we are coming from a dark past. You understand? And we don't want through slavery, and we don't want to go back to that dark past. So confronting the legacies of the transatlantic slave trade is very important also.
Right. So we have people in America who don't want to deal with the reality of the slave trade, and what they're saying is that they're indigenous to America and that the slave trade never happened. Black people make you look light-skinned in America right now, saying that they are Native American Indians, Olmecs, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Navajo, and that the slave trade is a lie, and that this was all made up. Like all this is just all fabricated, and that it's a conspiracy theory that slavery happened and the Africans and the white people are working together on it because the black man is indigenous to America, and that's the true motherland. Like, what would you tell them?
No, the reality, it's not, you not even use an idealist approach to that particular thing. You understand? It's just a realist approach. Okay, you down here now, right, and you've seen bricks that you cannot get conspiracy theory with bricks. This is not Disneyland. Right. This is not Disneyland. This you seen the reality. You just think about the architectural expertise of those blacks that even their sweats are inside these blocks. You understand? To put some of these things together, all of these are very important. So to say that I will not even fall for that kind of discourse. Okay. that discourse is non-existent. It's non-existent because we all are saying it. it's real and it happened. That is why it's still modeling race relations.
Right.
If it did not happen, why can't you just use conspiracy theory to model race relations in 21st century? Nah. It was built up, you understand?
Right.
Especially to attack, to attack or to dispel any kind of thing that happened against their project. Okay, so here is the South Bastion because it was 45. Okay, so this was like a flagpole post. So here you had the Union Jack, which is the British flag. Okay, that operated here because remember, even earlier geographers that came in here or trade merchants saw this place as the seat of Sierra Leone. That is why most of their knowledge of Sierra Leone was in the Sierra Leone River, because this was where things were happening.
Right.
This was where business was happening. Before you had cars transporting goods and stuff, this was where business was happening. So that is why even with Sir Francis Drake that did his circumnavigation of the world, he came down to Sierra Leone and had to take supplies from the watering place that I told you about, King Jimmy.
Right.
So that's a unique global marina history, because most of these things that happen are documented. So what they knew about Sierra Leone was here. So even when you had chief agent that controlled the fort here, he was even referred to as the governor of Sierra Leone, which is, you had only small authority here and few of the small blocks or islands here, it was referred to as the governor of Sierra Leone. That's just to tell you how important and strategic this particular location was in that part of transatlantic slave trade history. So you had the Union Jack here. That's to tell you that British had the authority doing the slave operations on the island here. So you have cannons here. You see King George inscription. So see, these are all. Okay, this is the merchant quarters. Lower ranking officers, because here was the main chief agent's house. Higher ranking officers resided in these headquarters. Okay, and then you had these merchant quarters like dormitories, or when merchants come in, they want to, like, they are spending 1 day or two to sort their goods, they will sleep here. Whites, they will sleep, Europeans, they will sleep, and then later, once their goods are sorted, then they'll go out. Oh. We are planning to enter the main Bunce house. The main Bunce house.
Okay.
So if you look at some historical texts, some will tell you about Bunce Island. Okay. Some will say Ben's Island, and some in the late period, 19th century and stuff, we say Bunce Island. So that was the one that stayed. But some texts will tell you about Bunce Island, because one of the agents that resided here that supervised the operation was Captain Bunce.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
so it's named after him.
Yeah. So they just when some people were writing their historical works on the island, some would say the Bunce house, because that was where this guy resided. Okay.
Was he, I guess, English, or what was it?
Yeah, this is English. So, and then even with the Timinis and other indigenous people, for them they call it Ben Sili, because they don't know that English name to say Bunce Island. So that's, for them, they say Ben's Island. So this is the main house. So you look at this, you go back, it was like a huge building, built in Gregorian style. You understand? Just like you have stuff going on in England. So it was sophisticated, and they wanted to live the same life they had outside and then replicated in Sierra Leone. So that's why you had this superstructure, and it's funny. You see a fireplace in the tropics.
Right.
Yeah. So yes. So
okay, just want to construct it.
Just like to feel that like they are home.
Right.
Understand? So you had the structure like this and stuff. So in terms of documentations so there is a lady known as Anna Maria Falconbridge. Okay, Anna Maria Falconbridge got wedded to one of the workers of the Sierra Leone company. Okay. Because when the Timney is Bunce, the first Granville town, which is Freetown now. Everything was lost for the British, so they had to send new set of people to come start a community, because those slaves that came in that had confrontations with the Timneys at the time, because most of them came with the lifestyle, the Africans, but they came with lifestyle orientation they got from the slave masters and stuff. So they started having strained relationship with the Timneys that were indigenous. So at the time they had to burn the settlement. So they moved eastward from where we came from the ferry. They had to move eastward. So when these guys came with the company now, like Alexander Falcon Bridge was one of the guys sent by the Sierra Leone company to come facilitate a new settlement, to see how these guys that are dispersed eastward to come back and build the Freetown settlement. So when they came, because of that fracas, they had to come down to the Sierra Leone River, because they did not have authority to go stay there whilst they negotiate diplomatically what's going to be done on the Timini side and that of the British side, to see that they get harmony in terms of rebuilding a new Freetown settlement. So they came down here, and one day Anna Maria was invited for a dine-in. They came down, got some wine, and then just wanted to walk on the other side. Then she looked over and saw Africans living in penury on the other side. So he did a narrative of our visits in Sierra Leone from 1791, 1792, and 1793 in something like a diary that he was writing and then sending to her friends that in England, because she was just a young lady coming to Africa. And so she documented the kind of lifestyle she just had with the white guys here, and then contrasting that to the pain the Africans were feeling on the other side. On this side here, this is another flagpole, but this one represents the company that operated here. Okay. So if the British flag is there, the company that operated at the time. You understand? So the first period ended in 1728, and that was when an Afro-Portuguese competitor also in the slave trade came and bought Bunce Island, which is, his name is Jose Lopez da Mora. He came and bought the place in 1728. So after 1728, the place had to lie like for a decade. Nobody came in until a British guy also known as George Fryer, came in and then did some minor renovation and started business. But his business also did not do well. Okay, so he had to sell now to a larger operator on a private company, which is in the latter period, from 1748 up to 1748 up to 1807, when slavery was abolished. So what the private companies, that was the time you had mass movement within the transatlantic slave trade period. So their business was going on well, okay, than the earlier guys that operated, because most of these guys, what they did was to come with Europeans, and most of the Europeans were not strong to work on the island, and they were dying because of malaria. So that was also part of their business not doing well. So when the other private companies came, what they started doing was to Africanize the workforce. So they came with other Africans that were not enslaved, understand? They working for them on the other side. On the other side, they will come work for them in the morning, do whatever they want to do, or construct boats, because most of them had the expertise of boat building. So some of them were even coming with boats outside there for them the Africans to construct in here, and then they take them out. So one of these guys is Henry Lawrence, because Henry Lawrence was an agent for the later guys that operated on the island. So he was resident in Charleston. So he was leading all the sales from Bunce Island through Garsden Wharf. He gets his 10%, and then he sends most of the monies to Oswald's headquarters in London. Okay. So that's what he was doing. So this was the clerical building, all official stuff, documentation of how many slaves we bought, men, women, boys, girls, understand? All of these are documented here, because since they had a list from the king there by Sama on Pepel, they had to be paying annual rents. They had to be paying annual rents. Okay, so what?
Okay, well, who are they paying the rent to?
They are paying to buy Sama.
King?
Yeah, they are paying to buy Sama.
The African king?
Yeah, they are paying to buy Sama.
So the African king knew what was going on.
Yeah, they are paying to, yes, they are paying to buy Sama, because what? The buy Sama wasn't like coming inside the fort to understand most of the things they are doing.
Okay.
Yeah, because what most times what he
But he had to know what was going on.
Yeah, there was a legend that if Baisama comes into this place and step his foot on the island will sink. So he never came. So what he was doing to understand some of the operation is to send few of the ladies out there, family members, to come work, you understand, so that they understand the activities going on.
Okay.
But even that, what the British were doing, they were keeping separate ledgers of the sales they are doing in humans.
Oh, okay.
You understand? So if by Sama thinks that he's getting like a $50 because of what they are doing, what they will do, they will just like switch.
Right.
Yeah. So that it does. So all of it was tricky and other stuff. So it was like a relationship that was based on most of truth because they wanted to succeed. You understand? So even with the sales, what they were doing, if they want to, they know they had this the middle passage was somehow rough. Okay. So if they want to go sell 100 slaves to guys and WAF, what they will do, they will take a surplus of like 200 to 300. So they know some will go sick, die, you understand, and then they'll have the ones that will survive and then go sell. Okay. And so what they knew, and that is why with the middle passage at the time you had sharks following boats.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yeah, shark, because the shark knew that once they are with the boats, they are going to get human beings to eat. So if you were a troublesome slave that wanted not to go, they will just send you into the water and then shark will clear you. Because this is very important also, because most of the time people think that Europeans just came into Africa and then took Africans as slaves. Not all of them went because they wanted to go. Most of them resisted.
Right.
Yes. They were active resistance, you understand? Not only on the continent, but they were active resistance outside of the continent. One notable resistance is the Amistad Revolt.
Yeah,
yes, and Amistad Revolt is Sierra Leone and Shengbe Pierre. Okay, Shengbe Pierre was taken from here. He was going to his farm, a young man at the age of 20 with a family, a prince even at the time, going to his farm to do some work, and then he was arrested. You understand? Sold to a few people, and then ended to a Spanish trader, and then took them to Cuba. Wanted to go to another place, Puerto Principe, to go work in the farm, and then they had to
Puerto Prince, Haiti.
Yes, no, there is a Spanish location on the other side from Cuba, not the Haiti one.
Okay.
Okay. So
Dominican Republic.
Yeah. So they wanted to come to come to that location, and then Shengbe Pierre revolted with the other guys they had. You understand? They revolted, killed the Spanish guys, the captain and stuff. So they just had to keep somebody that would show them the route, because Shengbe Pierre only knew the geography that if I follow the sun, I'll go back to Africa.
Right.
You understand? So during the day, this Spanish guy would trick them to follow the sun, because these guys did not have skill in navigation. Understand? And the night he would turn the row again, going to like in Spain or in the Americas,
right,
where if they catch them, like they are not doing anything illegal. And that is very important, because slavery had been abolished in 1807 at the time.
Well, not in America though.
Yeah, not in America, but the British. You understand? Right. So and this was an operation here, a Spanish operation in Sierra Leone, going close to Liberia. You understand? In the Ghanaian coast. So these guys were taken from that garrison or a fort, and then sent to Cuba. So so Shengbe Pierre said, I'm not going to be a slave. So he revolted. So that's also an active resistance. And we know of other passive resistances, okay? In plantations, our mothers were doing infanticide, you understand? So that they will not give birth to slaves in different places in the Caribbean and that of the United States today. So this is very important. And even in Sierra Leone, there is a site known as Old Yagala in the Koinadugu district, where you have Limbas, who are Sierra Leoneans, had these settlements in the hill top, built with rock and mud to revolt slavery. So pre-Atlantic, they built that settlement to revolt warring factions that want, whether you coming from Guinea at the time in the Futa Jalon place, or you coming from Liberia to come attack them. they will see you from that hill.
You said coming from Liberia.
Yeah.
Who was coming from Liberia?
What I'm saying that if you are coming from Liberia to come get an expansion of land, you know, when the people in pre-Atlantic world, people were fighting for land from different part of the world. Okay, like even the Mani, you have Mani invasion in Sierra Leone, which well is like for the Mendes, that is our ancestors. Okay, the history is that from the Mani invasion is in the 1500. There was a Queen Masariku in the Mende Empire, which is in Mali, had confusion with the king or the emperor at that time in Mali, and then Masariku was sent out from Mali. But because of Masariku was a fierce woman and a leader, she has amassed a lot of population from the Mali Empire. So most of them followed her. So today, if you see Mandingos in Senegal, you see them in Gambia, this was the route Masariku used to come into Sierra Leone. You understand? So those group of people that followed her because of her strength and her leadership, most of them did not, all of them did not come to Sierra Leone. Some of them were staying in different locations. So that is why if you are a Mende, you might have got some roots to Mandingo, because that is like a legend for us. You understand?
Is there any Mende roots to Nigeria at all, or no?
I can't say, because one is very important, because when you talk about Mende is a large family of different ethnic groups. Okay. So with Mende like is the mother one. Okay, but today you can even talk about places like Bambara, you understand, the Bamana people, or offshoots of Bantu, like just in language like Mende have a lot of offshoots, So if you listen to some words in the Mandingo dialects, you see some issues of Mende, you understand. If you listen to some locals who are different ethnic groups in Sierra Leone now, you see some issues of Mende, because when they came in, most of you go to Senegal today, you see Mandingo people. You come to Sierra Leone, you see Mandingo people. You go to Ghana even, you see some split of Mandingo people. So you see that this was the route. This route from Mali through historical legend that these guys, Queen Masariku moved through that part, even came down to Liberia, because she used Liberia to enter Sierra Leone. So that is why you have a Mani invasion in Sierra Leone's history in the 1500. That is now who we call themselves Mende. So that is when they came, because these guys were warriors. Okay, they were warriors. They had a special force known as Zumbas. That people were afraid of them. Okay, because this was like you say cannibals. Okay, the people fear them, that whenever the Zumbas attack, they will eat the humans.
And you said they're from where? The Zumbas?
Yeah, the Zumbas were Manis.
From where?
From the present-day Mali, because the Masariku, Queen Masariku, came with those people, and they had a Mani invasion. So,
but you said they came through Liberia?
They came through Liberia. They came through Liberia. So that is why if you going from the south going into east, you see a lot of Mende speaking, because when they came, they started defeating those that were in that location, and then they dominated them, because these were fierce warriors. So they dominated a lot of people, even some other ethnic groups in Sierra Leone. They dominated them and even acted as kings over them, because of their warrior kind of type that they came with from that history up to, from Masariku in Mali, and then coming into Cape Mount, and then entering into Sierra Leone through what they refer to as the Mani invasion. So if you Google, just say Mani invasion, you see some of these issues come up, and then you see some of the legendary activities of Queen Masariku. Man activities are tampered with a lot of archaeological structures.
Right.
Okay. So
that's what I'm saying. You got to be careful with the. You have to be careful with the renovation.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to.
Yeah. That's why we bring in experts to come see, even with the tree growth.
Right.
You see, some of these tree growths are older than 100 years.
Okay.
Okay, and some of it now, because of that huge neglect over time, and the weathering effects in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone gets one of the highest of rains in Africa. Understand? So most of the properties, once they are exposed to this kind of weathering effect, you see some of the structures collapsing.
Right.
So that's these are some of the. So what we are doing with some of these projects is to just hold some of the ruins. You understand?
Right.
Because these are what you have to show to people when they come in.
Right.
We've taken a lot of time doing also some botanical research, all cooking activities. If you wanted to work, did some forge with iron, all of this we are done inside the service building. And also for you to know, this place was not like this. It was swept clean. There was no grass when these guys were operating here, because one, the fear of mosquitoes to bite them and malaria, they will die. So they had to keep it down. Everything was clean. Okay. So now this service building is almost gone. Okay. So all of the activities, cooking and stuff are done here. So one of the painful sites here is this area. Where's it? Yeah, this is the structures.
Okay.
Because this is the doorway to the slave yards.
Okay.
Okay, because they had two slave yards. They had the women and children slave yard, and they had the men. Okay, so here I was fortified. 24/7 you had somebody with a gun to look at what's happening. Okay, so if they are coming with food for the slaves from that end, you come into this gate.
Right.
And then once you are here, they ask you where you want to go to. Okay, and then you enter here. Once you enter inside this spot, they'll close the door again. They'll close the door again because they don't want any revolt, you understand, of slaves scrambling, and then there is this kind of rowdy behavior. So they'll close it on you, and then you are left with this now. Then they ask you where do you want to take whatever you want to take. You understand? So then you might say you want to go to the women's area. So this one is a smaller one, which is the women's area. So we're walking in a dungeon now, like in any other place. So like you say, slave force, or they say slave castle. It was a slave castle.
Right. Exactly.
Dungeon. Yes. because that's a place. You know, that is a warehouse for humans. You kept people on the side. So you have women and other children here.
Okay.
Yeah. So kids and mothers were here. And one of the painful part of it, brother, is that this place was open for the rest of the year. It was not closed. So when it rains on our forefathers. When it suns, it's on them. So this was just how they were tied up here, tied up with the women. If they want to come do anything extra to use them, whatever way they want to do, rape and stuff, they will come and then take them, just do whatever they want to do. It's a kind of and one of the reasons also they are taking the young kids, you know, they are not paying price for the young kids.
Right.
They are not paying price, and the young kids, we are easily brainwashed. You understand? So that is why today, even when you are mentioning that there are African Americans, they are saying that the slave trade did not happen and they are not connected to the continent. These are some of the dynamic relations you need to understand, because early childhood education, for some of us that are exposed to that, is to tell you that once the early learning period starts from the 1,000 day of the child's life. That is from even getting the pregnancy up to that 1,000 day, giving birth to that child and stuff. So most of the orientation that child gets is so that's what you call conditioning. Okay, yes, conditioning. So a lot of people are conditioned on slave master's page.
Right.
you need to understand that. So even today we are living not in the era of slave trade, but there are people that are conditioned over time, because there are some people even in the plantations they are serving as snitches.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
To the slave master. So most of this, we need to understand some of these relationships. So it's very important also that you give the right education to certain people, so that they like get a sense of, oh, this is true. I've been conditioned this kind of way and stuff. So they had to take kids, and kids who are like surplus, they are not paying for them, and they can be easily brainwashed outside. you remember you take a kid 4 years or 3 years or 10 years, you take him to the United States.
Right.
He's not even knowing that he ever came out from anywhere. He thinks he was born and bred in the United States or born and bred in England. So that's a child. So you can't ask that child a lot of questions. You understand? Because over time, that has been the conditioning process for him or her. So a lot of these things. So you say you want to connect, you are proud of, you are very proud of it. You understand? It's naturally we are all that way, but some people do it by choice. That I want to connect, I don't want to connect.
Right.
Yeah. So it's very important, but these are just kind of the kind of conditioning that happen that certain people will think this way in the 21st century.
Yeah.
So you see this was the bigger one. So you can get up to 500 to 600 men, able-bodied men here sitting in the chain in tents. Yeah. So these guys will be in chain, and then when they want to come with food, they'll just put it in a bowl like this, and then come put it in the middle. Everybody scramble for it. Everybody scramble for food. So you not even get the right nutrients. You understand? You not get strong. So that is why even most of them we are getting sick through the middle passage and dying because they were not fed well.
Right.
Yes. If you take 10 people and then give them a bowl of rice, yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of these things, and you are packing them like sardines in sanitary conditions. Yes. If you want to get pieces or you want to ease yourself, you just do it in the booth. Right. And some people are allergic to some of these things. Right. They are not open to it. And some people are even, some Africans are even princes. Yes, right. Yes. So and they are coming from royalty. They don't even know about such things you are exposing them to. So a lot of them were not able to hit to some of these challenges, and they died. So this area you see, it was described in the 1720s as the Orange Walk. Okay, this location. So this was a place like for recreation for the European merchants. Hello. This was like a recreation point. When they've done a lot of work, they come relax here, get whiskey and stuff. So this, if you look at this within that context of the 1700s or 1720s, this was like the first of golf course in Africa, the whole of Africa. So yes, because these guys were coming to play golf in this location. So that's just to like say we are not missing. You understand? We are not missing. You know, we have a good place to relax, good place to do our thing and do our business. So this place. So you have relaxation points. Now when it's rush, you see a whole area. So you see all the ruins collapsing and stuff. You see all of this as you're seeing it. So this, you see a structure here. This was known as a strong room. Okay. A strong room because most of the goods they bought from the Africans, like ivory and stuff, gold, they were storing it inside here. Okay. So it's like a vault of the goods they are buying before they take it out. Like the powder keg room. Okay. That's supposed the cannons and stuff. So they had to put it down here to if by accident they have an explosion, it will just go into the water down there. So it will not affect the structure on that side. This is the inside wall. So if you come here, most of these trees are older than 100 to 150 to close to 200 years. The street, come in, relax.
In the car.
Boy, you left it there.
Yeah, I mean, how much more we have of this?
Now we're just going out to the grave site.
Okay,
And then we'll conclude.
Yeah, so we'll be fine.
That's why I said you should just like save it a little bit.
Yeah, so we get down here. Hold on. To attack the
Yes,
game.
so they'll come with the slaves. They'll just hold power a little bit and then use the slave through this part and then escape with them.
With the slaves.
Yeah,
okay.
so because they know if they capture their slaves, they are going with them. The enemy will go and sell them or do whatever thing they want to do.
Right.
So they wanted to protect their business. So they always keep the slaves. So basically, you do not have a documentation of people escaping from here because you see this is an island.
Right.
Yeah. So if you want to escape, where are you going?
Yeah,
Water all over the place. So that was the problem. All these extramural structures, okay? And
I'm afraid of it.
yes, it's very deep, and this was the place where the slaves drank from.
Okay.
So the British or the merchants here did not drink from this place. So they went, the first operation that they destroyed at Tasso. Tasso was the only place you can get spring water on this side. There's a place known as Oku Town, okay? There you can get spring. So what they were doing is to take their boats to that place, get the water, and then come drink for them. But for the slaves, this was the water they were giving them. So the intersection of Europe and Africa.
Right.
Yeah, so in terms of plants and biological life.
So we're headed to the African village.
Yeah, we passed through the African village, and now where we are is the cemetery.
Oh wow.
Okay, so here at this location, the cemetery, you can see vividly.
Who's buried over here?
Well, fine. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
So in this particular burial ground, you can still see vivid segregation of the white man and that of the black man. Okay, even in death, the black man and the white man were buried at the same place. So there is an European graveyard, and here is an African graveyard, even on Bunce Island.
Are the Europeans still there?
Yeah, look, that's why you see most of the grave markers. This one are not really documented. Inside you just see stones, marks. So here the only person that had like a superstructure, like a marble tile in present day, was the guy I was telling you about, by Adam.
Okay.
Because in as much as he was the last African farmer on the island, when he died, the British that were operating here sent this as a memorial for him because of the work he was doing, the private company. So they had this structure for him. And today you see most of it is gone because there is this traditional belief that within the area that if you break a stone from this man and go do like a juju with it, you succeed. Whatever kind of power you want, you understand? Whatever kind of power, political power or stuff you want, you succeed once you get a stone from this place. So most people are coming to just chip it up before you had this complete restoration or protection from Monuments and Relics Commission now, because you don't get people coming in. Because before this time, you have issue of thefts. The guys will just come in. Even they will just come in and then do certain things. But what we are doing is to get education programs, you understand, workshops for youths, call them, and then tell them about the importance of Bunce Island and that of our heritage, you understand. Want to conserve the conservation of our heritage assets. So with that, I think some of those education had helped in some of the things they were coming to do on Bunce Island unregulated. Some people are coming to do outing and stuff, and which this is a memorial, and it's a memorial site, especially for Sierra Leoneans, and not only for Sierra Leoneans but an African diaspora. So they need, that's the kind of education we are giving to them to understand that we need to preserve this, and then at the end of the day, other people will benefit from it and see it, understand, and understand the context of the history. So you have chief agents that were buried here, they are documented, Danish people, English, that worked on the island and died. Captain Joseph Dory,
who died on 29th May 1763 or 65.
So record this part again down here. So
Let me explain it well because I can.
Okay. No, you on the grave marker it reads, erected to the memory of Captain Joseph Dory, who died the 29th May 1765. Okay, man of an upright character, beloved by his companions.
it was crazy. These people, they engage in illegal activity still to this day, and then they want to tell the African, they want to teach them what's integrity. So now what they're doing, you know, they still are relics, keep it in their museums, but then they want to teach us, you know, what's right and what's wrong. But then they want to keep our stolen property in their museums in Europe. And then when we call them out on it, they have all types of excuses. They don't want to give us back our property, but then they want to tell us what's right or wrong.
When it's washed, you see out.
Okay.
So you see outside. So I think we've done a good job today.
Yeah.
With Dynast Bunce Island.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't build.
Into an unknown destination.
Right.
Today you talk about the Caribbean. Today you talk about the UK.
Right.
Today you talk about whether in Spain or Spanish colonies in territories in the Caribbean and stuff. Okay.
Right.
So once you step here, so basically we call this a whole path of no return.
Okay.
Because from that end you walk through, you're not going again. So at the time you did not have anything like trees here, so they'll match you. You understand? In chains. Right. They'll match in chains and then you are landed on the jetty. Right. So you can do just a short video of him on the jetty and he wants to say a few words about his visits and stuff.
So this right here is the original. Well, I'm sorry. This is the point of no return right here. But there was more than one slave, I guess, fortress in Sierra Leone, right?
Yeah, but this was the major one.
This is the major one.
Major one. So all of those were like out factors.
Okay.
Small holding pens that if you have an out factor, just hold them for some time, waiting for the merchants here to go collect them.
And bring them here.
Different places here. So different forts, they can collect them and then bring them here. And there are some other forts outside, even from Freetown, that you have ship that will just come in or boats that will just come and take them directly. But this was like the major one.
Right.
Yeah. So and there is another one. I'll mention the one at York where we have a cave. York, yes, and there's a cave there at York, and there's a story that people or slaves were gathered at that particular cave and being chained, and before they will be transported to Kinjimi, then out of Sierra Leone.
Yeah, these are all out factors. These are all factors, small, not call them major forts. They are just small barracoons like,
right,
to hold the amount of people they have within that terrain, and then you have business agents, European merchants that will go collect them and then come deal with them in anywhere they want to deal with them before they are taken across the Atlantic. Okay. So you're not only on that place, you have the other one in York Island, which is in Bunce. There is a lot of other forts around. The Plantain Island, because John Newton, the guy that is renowned for the hymn Amazing Grace,
yeah,
was a slave merchant in Sierra Leone.
Well, okay, people need to hear that. Say, repeat that again, because Black Americans love that song. Yes. Black Americans love that song.
The issue with John Newton, was brought here, and he was working for a slave merchant.
Right.
The guy his boss was like John Plantain. Okay, he had a small island now known as Plantain Island, a small barracoon on Plantain Island. So when he worked with him, and at the end of the day, so he was exposed to some of these activities. Okay, but there was a time John Newton had a turbulence event, high seas, that even was leading to his death. So because of that transitioning, okay, so he had to convert. So that is why he had to do this on that. It was only the grace of God, you understand, that saved him through that turbulence time in sea. So from that time, he converted into Christianity and was fighting against for the abolition of slavery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that is why he even became a church goer. It was somebody that operated in the Anglican church and some of this. So that is why when he changed, he was also vibrant in some of the issues that were discussed for the abolition of slavery, because he had witnessed it firsthand, and he had participated in some of these activities. So that's why the amazing grace for him was like the grace of God that brought him out of that dark past that he had engaged himself in. That's right.
Yeah. I have enjoyed my time at Bunce Island. So in order to get here, I guess we're in the western part of Freetown.
Yeah.
Western part of Freetown. I'm staying at the Blue Hotel, by the way. I'm bougie in Sierra Leone. Aberdeen.
Yeah.
So we went from Aberdeen to
Kisi.
the Kisi terminal, the Kisi terminal to
Tagreen.
Tagreen, then Tagreen straight here. Well, then Tagreen to, what would this be?
Pepel.
Pepel. Then we caught a boat. I'm sorry, yacht. Show them my yacht. Show them my yacht. Show them my yacht. That's my yacht. Then we caught my yacht here to Bunce Island. So that's how we got here. Guys, come and visit. Honor the ancestors. If you trace your roots back to Sierra Leone, this is more than likely where they were shipped from. The point of no return right here. So thank you for joining. Dynast Amir, search for Uhuru in Sierra Leone. Peace.
I thought it.
Okay, good.
Say a word before you come out from your yacht.
My yacht. Come into my yacht.
Okay.
Okay.
Just sit.
Just
sit down. No. Just sit down. Be patient. Sit down.
Sit down.
Just do the action like sit.
Okay.
Excuse me, eh?
Okay, what am I doing? Okay. Okay.
Okay, give me your hand.
Okay, am I good now? Yeah. Okay, you good? I'm heavy.
Don't worry.
I'm a big man.
Yeah.
I'm a big man. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay. Oh, you carry me all the way to the top. Okay, thank you.
So he's now telling you that he's also a strong man.